Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IAM Love Builders Show with your hosts, Casper and Cheryl Stockham. We are wanting to give a great big shout out to our broadcast partners. Thank you so much for tuning in today. IAM Love Builders is a show that deals with all things concerning relationships and communication. We want your marriage, your relationship to be strong, healthy, and thriving. That's I'm sorry. We want you to be an MVP. That's the most valuable partner in your marriage and in your relationship. And remember, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.
But we are having fun today because we are on a live, we're at a live event doing a
Yes.
live podcast at a remote event. So we're not obviously in our studio. We're at an event called Woodstock at Wheels. And Wheels is a bar and grill here in the Denver area. And it's a motorcycle bar and grill. So there's a lot of motorcycles here. It was part of a larger ride that was happening earlier today. So we have a booth set up. We're doing our remote broadcast from this location. There's music, there's food, there's motorcycles. There's a lot of stuff going on. They're honoring vets.
Yes.
We're giving away a motorcycle later today, and I'll be winning that motorcycle. They don't know it yet.
Okay,
I'll be winning
right.
that motorcycle.
Sure, you will.
I'll definitely be winning that motorcycle. But yeah, we're excited to be here. Excited to be able to bring the show on the road. I love the show on the road. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we wholeheartedly support vets.
Absolutely.
And that's what this organization is all about. That's what this rally today is about, is supporting our vets. They need our support.
Yeah.
They need our help. And so we are there for them because they gave their lives, a lot of them, for us, so for our freedoms. So we want to just do our part to help support the vets here in the U.S.
Yes, yes. So we give a shout out to our sponsors for this episode. And so I am Love Builder, who wrote a book called Divorce Proofing Your Marriage. It is hit the hot new release list on Amazon. We do live training calls twice a week, but we have an MVP club program, and the wind's picking up. Hopefully our setup won't blow away. But we do those calls every 2 weeks. We have a free huddle call we do for folks as well. We have a new Facebook group called the Most Valuable Podcast Network, where we do 15-minute interviews to interview you about your business. We have free workshops we do as well. And we have a couples contest that you can win a MVP Bronze membership.
Amen.
So we're excited about that. All right. So today, our topic is going to be what?
The rule of 777.
What the heck is the rule of 777?
So the rule of 777 is something that has been established to help couples get their quality time in with each other, because we're so busy with work, with careers, with children. Children have more things going on. They got soccer, they got baseball, they got dance, gymnastics, ballet. They got all music, all kinds of classes, and we are their chauffeurs.
Yeah, right, exactly. We're working for them.
So it's kind of hard for husbands and wives to get their time in together. So the 7-7 rule is all about coming together, spending time with each other, have a date every 7 days, have a night away every 7 weeks, and go on a holiday without the children every 7 months. 7-7-7.
Okay. So it's just like a rule of thumb on how to have a vibrant, healthy relationship.
Right. It's a guideline
Yeah.
to help you.
Yeah. In the beginning, when you're dating and so forth, I was joking around the other day. It's 1-1-1. I mean, everything is like now, right? You're calling every day.
Right.
You're doing.
You're all googly-eyed,
Yeah.
and you can't be without them, and
Yeah.
you're on the phone. Even if you don't say anything, you just hold the phone
Yeah, and you go
for hours.
Yeah, you're going out to week several times. You're going out to eat several times a week.
Right.
And you're going on vacations and everything as often as you can.
Right.
So it's very, in the beginning, you're doing all this stuff. But then when the kids show up and the
Right.
career shows up and all those challenges show up, we start to,
It starts to wane.
yeah,
You spend little time together, and it gets less and less and less.
yeah,
So on the 777 rule, like it doesn't have to be seven. Maybe yours is five every 5 weeks,
yeah,
every 5 days. But the key thing is to have some type of guideline where you and your spouse can spend time together. And we talk about this in our book, and we talk about this when we do our facilitating our workshops. And one of the primary rule when you're having your time together with your spouse is that that's the time for the two of you.
right.
So you don't talk about the children, you don't talk about finances, you don't talk about anything but only those things that's going to enrich your relationship with your spouse
During that time.
during that time.
Yeah.
That's the time when you catch up. Honey, how are you doing? I know when we come together, we do a little check-in and we can say, well, how are we doing? How am I doing as a wife? But you have to have your big girl panties on now.
Right, right.
You can't bow down to or get weak when it comes to criticism or a suggestion. You have to be willing to hear because you want to grow, you want to thrive, you want your marriage to be successful. So we do a check-in. Hey honey, how am I doing? How am I doing as a wife? How are things going this week? What do I need to do? What do I need to know? What's happening?
Right.
And then we share with each other. Of course, we always share in love. There is no bickering, fussing, or fighting, or being mean or rude. You just share in love. But you have to be strong and not get all easily offended. You remember, you just want to grow. You want your marriage to be strong, and you want to grow.
Right. Very good. Very good.
Now, we know that it can be difficult to maintain that strong romantic relationship. And for some couples, because of all that's going on, intimacy starts to just wane a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they don't have as much intimacy time. Basically, that romantic time together where you guys can really bond and be like you were on your honeymoon. So because that's important in your marriage,
And
but it sometimes it just kind of falls to the wayside.
yeah, I think it's hard for couples to be intentional about it. You get married and all these things show up, the kids show up and everything else, and then you just kind of just lose focus. You lose maybe your interest. You just kind of let's do. It's just not a priority anymore,
Mhm.
and it needs to be a priority all the time. It
Right.
never needs to not be a priority.
Right.
And as soon as you start to unprioritize your marriage, that's when problems start to show up.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that's what the 7-7 rule is kind of get you some goals going again. We talk about goals in our book
Mhm.
because couples are like, well, why would I set a goal for yes? If you don't set a goal for your marriage, you're just allowing situations to just
To get in and,
yeah,
and there becomes a chasm
right,
between you and your spouse.
right,
You want to guard against your marriage, your relationship from being stale
right,
and monotonous,
right.
where you find yourself where you just on autopilot,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
and you don't want to be just on autopilot.
Auto,
Autopilot.
yeah, yeah,
You want to be intentional. You want to keep the romance going because what happens is when we get to a point where we allow it to be stale or it becomes monotonous or we begin to wane away from each other.
yeah,
Then when the time comes when you're an empty nester, that's when couples end up getting a divorce. That's
yeah,
when they end up because they have lost touch with each other.
yeah. They don't have, yeah. They just lose touch with each other, and they're married to a stranger.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
We're gonna take a quick break here. You're listening to the I Am Love Builder show with Casper and Cheryl. We are on a remote location.
We're live.
We're live at the Trillion Trees ML ML Gratitude event. here off of Hampton Avenue. We're going to take a quick break. It'll be 10 minutes if you watch
10 seconds.
10 seconds if you're watching live. But we'll be right back in just about 10 seconds. All right, we are back at the I Am Love Builders show. Casper and Cheryl here. We're so excited that you guys are with us. We are here on a remote location. We're trying out our system to take it on the road, so we can actually do this for your location on the road. Now, I have to admit, there's a lot of technical challenges with this location because we are outside.
Right.
This is a motorcycle event, so there's a lot of motorcycles, a lot of noise, a lot of people. But hopefully, you should be able to hear us just fine, and we can do this from your location. So we can come out. If you have a company picnic or some kind of event where you want us to be participants in or involved in, we'll be happy to have that discussion. So just reach out to us on our website.
Woo! There we go.
There goes our background.
Okay, so there's a RV in the back. That's not our RV, but we're believing by faith that we will have one.
We'll have
So we'll just we'll accept that in our background because we believe that's in our future.
All right.
So as we were talking, we want couples to spend time. So you know what? Sometimes couples say, well, what do we do when we come together?
Right.
If we can't talk about the children and we can't talk about finances and we can't talk about the things that's happening at work, what do we talk about?
That's a good question.
Because they've forgotten. What did you talk about before you had kids, before you got married, when you were dating? So it's like, well, what do we say? What do we talk about? So let's give them some suggestions on what to talk about. You can talk about your plans and your goals for the future.
Yeah.
As a couple.
Yeah. When you first came together as a couple, you weren't talking about your kids, right?
Nope.
You were talking about your goals and your visions and your future. All these different things. You're getting to know each other.
Right.
So you know what they can talk about, Cheryl?
What?
They can get our card game that's going to be coming out soon, and they can use a card game to get to know each other better. And you would say, well, yeah, we've been married for 10 years, 50 years. We know each other pretty good.
Well, here's a test.
Yeah.
We're going to find out.
We put the card game together, and we were asking ourselves questions that we didn't know about each other after 21 years. And we're the ones that invented the game. So these trivia questions and relationship questions are things you can use to kind of get to know each other better.
Right.
Trust me, it works.
Right. It's getting pretty windy here, folks, so just bear with us. This is our prototype. We're praying that nothing blows away while we're sitting here.
Yes.
So you can talk about your new future goals.
Yes.
Talk about who you are today. So it'd be a simple question as a husband looking at a wife and say, honey, tell me about the you that you are today in 2024. Describe yourself to me today.
Yes.
I remember you when we were 19, when we were 21, when we were 30, when we were dating, when we first got together.
Yeah.
But share with me what woman am I with today? Who are you? And then vice versa. The wife can ask the husband, share with me the man that you are today. Talk about what have we learned. We've been married for 5 years. We've been married for 15, 35 years.
Right.
What have you learned as a wife to this man for 35 years?
Yes.
As a husband, woman for 35 years. So that's a question you can talk about, something you can propose to each other. What have we learned?
Right.
What are we going to do better? It's another good question. Now that we have been together for all these many years and we have learned X, Y, Z,
yes,
what can we do better?
And you can always do something better.
Always.
In the business world, every time we launch a business, we always do plan, do, review.
Right.
So you plan it out, you do it, and then you review it.
Right.
Same thing for a marriage, right? you have all these goals and aspirations and thoughts about when you first get married, but then life gets in the way. So you plan it, you do it,
Hmm.
and then you review it.
Right.
Cheryl and I are always reviewing, especially like each year, how did we do?
Yes.
Right? How well did we accomplish our goals? Are we on track for our even our long term goals?
Right.
All those kind of things. Those are things you should be doing continuously, and you can do them when you're on these gatherings.
Right.
Um, Now, is that too much? Is that too close to talking about the family, or is that okay to discuss that?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
I believe you could interject regarding the family when it's like, I want to be a better mother.
Yeah.
And this is what I plan to do to be a better wife and mother,
Okay.
or to be a better husband and father.
Okay.
So, this is what you want to do when you keep on and get that into your relationship so that you can grow. You can, you know, this is one thing that's guaranteed
Yes.
is change.
Change.
And
Guarantee. Definitely gonna happen.
and we're always changing, but sometimes couples don't stay in tune with each other.
Right.
So change becomes hardship.
Yes.
Change becomes a divorce. Change becomes a broken family, a broken up home. Change because becomes children every other weekend with mom or dad. Let's not do that.
Right.
Let's not do that. Let's check in with each other and don't be so sensitive.
Yes.
So if my husband says to me, well, I remember once when we were doing this, and I was a mother to my daughter, my stepdaughter. Her name is Faith, and Faith has special needs. She was born with Down syndrome, and she came to live with us.
Yes.
So this was a whole new world for me. I was a wing in the prayer, man. I was, Jesus help me. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yes.
And I remember having a conversation with my husband and asking him, and he gave me some tips of what I could do different or better in order to be a good mother to Faith. And I took it in stride. It didn't hurt me. It didn't offend me because I really wanted to get better at that.
Right. Right.
I really wanted to be a good mother for her while she was living with us. And Faith is still with us, and she is my best buddy. Um, we hang out together, us girls, as she
Yeah.
say.
More than with me. I think she likes you a lot better than she likes your dad. Just saying.
So it's those things. So when you have those conversations, you can't be overly sensitive. And remember, when you are sharing it, you always want to share in love. And I think this is also a good opportunity for our communication technique
Yes.
when you're having these conversations. So when you're doing your 777, or maybe yours is 666, or maybe yours is
No, it's
three
not
three
six six
three.
six.
Okay, well, right. Maybe not six six
We
six,
don't do
but maybe it's five five
five.
five. Okay, then you can have these conversations and learn from them and grow and improve, because that's what it's all about. We want your marriages to be strong.
Yeah.
We want your relationships to be healthy. And it's even good that if you're not married right now, but you're in a serious relationship and you're considering marriage, or you're engaged, you need to start planning this out now.
I think that the key to all of this we're talking about today is to be intentional about your marriage. Plan it, work at it, focus on it. Anything that you focus on is it's going to improve. Right? You
Yes.
have to focus on it. You can't just let it happen. You can't just by happenstance you go out on a date by happenstance. We're on a date. How did that happen? No, you got to plan that kind of stuff. You can't just show up one day and be on a date, right?
And so another thing you can do, if you're practicing the 777 rule, is make sure you have fun, make
Yes.
memories,
Yes.
laugh, have a good time. You know,
Yes.
make sure you have some good memories with your spouse. Make sure you laugh, you joke, you play games. You Do whatever it is that you enjoy doing. If you
Right.
play golf, go play golf. Maybe you've never played golf, then go play anyway, just
Yeah.
to figure out what it's all about and have a good time.
All right. Speaking of play, we're going to take a quick break.
All right.
And if you're watching live, it'll just be 10 seconds. And we're going to be introducing our card game to you guys soon. Not today. But here's a little sneak peek of our card game. All right, we are back with I Am Love Builder Show. We are on a remote location. We are here at the Wheels Bar and Grill. We're helping celebrate some veterans. We have a motorcycle to give away that I'll be winning here shortly.
Sure. That's what it is.
There are vendor booths out here. There are folks out here. Obviously, motorcycles, plenty of motorcycles. It's just a fun time. We're going to be here actually for another few hours. Even after the show, we'll still be here. And come on down, hang out with us, have some food, have some good times, and help us celebrate veterans. By the way, if you are a veteran, you can come down right now, this second, register. I think it closes at I think it closed already at 4. Shoot, I think it closed at 4 to put your name in for the motorcycle giveaway. We got some more motorcycles coming in. You can probably hear them in the background. So we're excited to be down here supporting this event. We love supporting our veterans. I'm a veteran myself, so we definitely want to support the veterans. All right. It's
So
going to be a little noisy right now. Mics are still coming in.
So we're talking about the 777 rule, which is every 7 days go on a date. Every 7 weeks have an overnight stay somewhere, and every 7 months go away for a weekend.
Yes.
And this is without the children. I mean, you can schedule family time too at another time, but we want to make sure that husbands and wives stay strong,
Yes.
that couples are a united front,
Right.
and that they are making memories and having fun in their lives as husband and wife. I mean,
Yes.
you didn't get married to be married and miserable.
No. And, yeah. Why would you do that?
No.
Especially if you're believers, right? I'm still dumbfounded by two believers fighting with each other, and not allowing God to work in your marriage.
Yeah. And that's key. God must be in your marriage, which could lead to another question that when you're on your date, when you're spending your time together, you can ask each other, where am I with God right now?
Right.
How's my relationship with the Lord going? What, and then say, how about us as a couple? What can we do to enhance, to strengthen, and to grow as a kingdom couple to build up our relationship with the Lord?
Yeah. I know two things they can do immediately, and that is to pray together
Right.
and to fast together.
Yes.
And this is a fairly new concept for me, because Cheryl was always fasting, and I'm always trying to figure out why she's fasting. So, about, I don't know how long it's been now, maybe another bike rolling through. Sorry about that, another bike rolling through. Maybe it's been a couple years now.
Yeah, at least two. At least two.
Yeah, when I finally got to figure this out, after 21 years, by the way, I finally figured this out. I said, maybe I should fast with her. But I tell you what did it for me. Actually, I listened to Dr. Miles Monroe, and I was like, this fasting thing is like off the chain. I mean,
Right,
when you
right.
got to listen to Dr. Miles Monroe talk about fasting. If you are not into fasting, after you listen to him, you will be into fasting.
Yes.
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 And I really want to fast for like 40 days, 21 days. So I want to go like a long time,
Mhm.
but I also want to be here afterwards. And every time we fast, and cover your ears, Cheryl, right now. Every time we fast, I lose weight. And
Yes,
I'm like,
and I don't.
man, I'm like, I can't afford to lose that much weight. I actually don't want to lose weight. Right?
But the fasting is not about just losing weight, but there are some physical benefits.
Yes.
So basically, when it comes to fasting, as a couple, what you would do is abstain from food,
Yes.
and you replace that time where you would have spent eating. You spend it in the presence of the Lord.
Right.
You spend it reading the Word, meditating on the Word,
Yes.
watching Christian TV, or read a book,
Yes.
something that will enhance your spirit man,
Right.
that will strengthen your spirit man, and you will begin to learn how to sit still and just listen. Because some people say, well, I don't know how to hear from God. Well, we don't spend a lot of time listening.
No.
I mean, we don't spend. I mean, we have found out as coaches for couples that we don't spend a lot of time listening to each other. So we definitely not listening to what Jesus has to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? It's funny. I was thinking about this subject just the other day about hearing God,
Mhm.
and it seems like the enemy. It's easy to hear from the enemy. It seems like the enemy's like it's like real easy, right? You can just be quiet for a second. It's like go do that. No, I don't want to do that. You have to really just
Mhm.
deny that.
Mhm.
But with God, you have to be really, super quiet,
Quiet. Yes.
pray in the spirit,
Mhm.
and really kind of lean into it.
Right.
But the cool thing is, once you really get that figured out, then you start to really are so tuned in.
That you really begin to hear him. You realize that he was
Yeah,
talking all
all
the
the
time.
time,
It's that
right?
they were just so, the Bible says it's a still small voice. It's not
Yes,
loud and boisterous. It's
yes,
a still quiet little voice that's speaking. And once you sit down and tune in and really give yourself over to hearing what God has to say, you will realize he's been talking all
all the
along.
time.
And maybe there were times that you actually did hear him, but maybe you dismissed it
Yeah,
because you didn't think God spoke to you.
yeah. And here's another way that you know for certain that it's God as opposed to the enemy. If what you are hearing harms another person or harms you or harms someone close to you or is destructive in any way,
Mhm.
that's not God.
No.
Because God is not going to tell you to go destroy something
Or
or
harm
something, harm
someone.
someone.
Yes, yes. So Jesus is love. So you will just need to spend time as a couple, and that could be one of your goals. That could be one of the things you could learn to do. I mean, because it is a learning.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I listened to Dr. Miles Monroe, even though I had been fasting for some time, I learned something new that I did
Yes.
not
I'm
know.
telling you, it's
So
powerful.
be open to learn. Be open to grow. Be open. Don't be fearful of change because sometimes change is really good.
Yeah. And I just or in my spirit, I heard somebody say that, well, what about in the Old Testament where they were, going in, destroying family, destroying whole villages and things like that? Well, those were different times, and there was a movement to get to the promised land,
Hmm.
and there were individuals, bad individuals actually, that were occupying the land.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of those things that needed to happen at that time. But those days are long over. Okay, we don't have to move someone out of their home because you want it.
Yeah.
No, if you want a home, you work for it and you'll get a home.
Well, you just go to God and
Yeah,
He will provide a home for you.
right.
We're a witness to
Amen.
that.
Amen to that.
So just plan out your time. You know, sit down together.
Yes.
And I also always suggest that if anytime you're going to come before the Lord, or whatever you and your spouse decide to do, when you're sitting down together, get pencil and paper, get a journal, take notes.
Yes.
When we spend time together, we take notes. And then when we come back the next time, we review what it was that we talked about. We review what we believe God put in our spirit that He wanted us to do, or something to enlighten us or illuminate us in a particular area, and we review it. So you want to keep pencil and paper, even when you're alone, in your own quiet time with the Lord. Have pencil and paper, write it down, or use your phone. Most of our phones have a recording app already on it. If
Right.
not, you can download one
Right.
and record whatever you believe you heard the Lord say to you.
All right. We're going to take another quick break. You're listening to I Am Love Builder Show. We are remote today, including a camper in the background. So we're going to take another quick break for about 10 seconds. And when we come back, we're going to finish up this topic about 777. And I want to expand it to 222.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Amen.
All right, folks, we are enjoying some food here at the Love Builders Show. And we were talking about 777. I want to give the folks, before we leave out of here, sure, I want to give them some tips on how they can actually manage this, because if you are a family with children, so how do you maneuver, make that time, for the date night, for example.
Right.
So, like, if you're a family, you have children, the easiest thing that I found, and it's inexpensive, it's free, is find another couple, hopefully like at church or something, and they have children about your same age, and then you guys switch off and share, or allow for them to go out on the date while you watch their children, and then you go out on the date when they watch your children. That way you don't have to have that expense, because babysitters are expensive.
Yes.
And these dates don't have to be formal, like go to a fancy restaurant, with a tie. It could just be walking around the lake.
Yes. Go for a walk in your local park or something like that. I knew of a couple, not knew, but I heard of a story of a couple who did not have the money to go out. And so they always wanted to go to Hawaii.
Right.
So the wife created a Hawaiian theme in the home.
Oh, nice.
So when the husband came home, it was decorated in a Hawaiian theme. She had on a Hawaiian outfit. The food, she planned food that was Hawaiian type food. And they put on some Hawaiian music and lit some candles. And she had gotten a Hawaiian shirt for him to put on. And they just enjoyed themselves as if they were on the beach in Hawaii.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, it doesn't have to be all that extravagant, and especially if you're planning something like that. That's a lot of planning involved with that. Not a lot of money though. Right?
No, because you can go to the Dollar Tree and pick up some stuff.
Right.
So and be creative. Be creative. You don't have to be expensively, creative, but be creative. And each of you can take time and take turns with a theme.
Yeah. And sometimes, if you have in-laws, especially, or grandparents or whatever, you can ask them to watch the kids, and then you can combine events. Like a lot of times, like one of our couples coming on the show, they haven't been able to get away from kids for a while, so they are, they have kids have grandparents, but they're coming to the show. But they're not just coming for the show. They're spending some time.
Their little getaway time.
Making a little getaway time. Taking some days before and some days after. Combining the fact they have to be in Texas anyway, right, to have that time. So you can just be real creative when it comes to this stuff. You don't have to spend a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me what is the 222?
Yeah. So on the same site that I was looking up information about 777, they mentioned 222, and all of these are just strategies or ways for you to connect with your spouse better. So the 222, I think I have it highlighted. So it's a date night every 2 weeks instead of every week. So you do it every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it gives you more time to plan, more time to have
coordinate
resources, all that stuff. And then also it has 2 months, or what is it?
2 months or 8 weeks
Instead of the every 7 weeks, it's 2 months. Just kind of you're expanding that out.
Right.
More time. Give yourself more time to plan. And then instead of the 7 months on a holiday, 2 years. Right, so every 2 years, you take a nice holiday. That's still planning, still giving you time to plan it out, and save up the resources if you have to. But again, you don't have to go out of state or out of country, or it doesn't have to be all of that.
Yes.
The key is to be intentional about spending time with your family,
Right. Right.
or your spouse,
Right.
right?
Right. So use this as a template. If you want to do every 7 weeks, every 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months, if every 2 weeks, every 2 months, every 2 weeks, 2 months,
Two
or
years.
2 years,
Yes.
and then in that 2 year time, maybe you could save up money for a big cruise
Right.
and go on a cruise somewhere,
Exactly.
or go to a foreign country, go to Europe, Paris, Belgium, somewhere, and have a good time.
Yes.
So make memories, everyone. Make memories. Do not let your marriage, your relationship with your spouse fall by the wayside. Do not let it begin to separate, but make it bring you more together so that you can enjoy each other even more.
Yeah.
So stay together and make memories.
And don't let the wind destroy your marriage. Don't just be blown around by the wind. The wind is blowing around us right now. It's like a tornado happening around us. Our backdrop is falling. But instead of us letting that affect us, we continue on.
Yes.
And that's a representation of the typical marriage.
Right.
Because you get set up, right? You got everything. You got the house, you got the kids, you got the job, you got the career. Then the wind shows up.
Right.
Then your background falls.
Yeah.
Right? Then your guests don't show up.
Right.
All these things that happen, but you need to be able to roll with it, and still continue on and be successful.
And for those of you who are believers, have faith in God. Your marriage is by faith. That's what our get together is going to be in October that our church is putting on. And it's marriage by faith. It's going to take faith. So be strong and stand with Jesus in your marriage. Learn and grow and make memories and have fun.
Oh, man. Why would you not want to have fun?
Yes. Figure out what's fun for you and your spouse and do that. Have a good time.
Yes. We still have 2 minutes.
We still got 2 minutes? Yeah. All right. So, for these next 2 minutes, let's talk about, get your pencil and paper out and start making a plan. Get your schedule out and start scheduling your time together. Be it your 7 days, your 7 weeks, or your 7 months, or 2 days. Not 2 days. 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, whatever your number is. Get your calendar out right now and start scheduling it. Get it on the books.
That's a good homework assignment. That's a good suggestion. Yeah. Don't wait.
No.
Do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Do it now, right after this show,
mm-hmm.
or right after whenever you hear this show. Sit down at the kitchen table. Decide which one of these rules you want to follow.
Mm-hmm.
777, 222, whatever. Come up with your own. 555, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Come up with your own, and then start implementing it.
Right.
And again, no one's gonna, if it doesn't work, plan to review.
Right.
You planned it, you did it. You didn't have the resources, you didn't have the whatever.
Babysitter fell through, or whatever the case.
Whatever.
Review,
and then you redo it.
Right.
Yeah. So, that's
it, folks. That's a wrap. So go work on it. Get your calendar out, get it on the books, and start planning. Make it happen.
Absolutely. So we're going to end this show with our Love Builder. Where is it? I have to find it now. Keep talking while I'm looking for it.
All right. So thank you so much for being patient with us as we're doing this little prototype, taking it out on the road. We didn't know what to expect. We weren't sure if we had all the right equipment, but we thought we would give it a try and just see how it all comes together. A lot of unforeseen things that we didn't think about or plan. However, we've gotten to the end of the show. We did it.
Right.
We will review it and learn.
All right. We'll see you guys on the next show. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.